Last night, I was sitting in bed, and suddenly I was hit with this wave of panic. I haven't even officially started the project, and already my internal critic is raising his voice and shaking his fists. I had this wave of complete inadequacy sweep over me, and I was thinking of how I don't have the skill set to be doing this. I am a fake, a fraud. I'm not good at it, so why should I even bother trying? But how many times have we all told ourselves that? How many times has fear of failure kept you from even trying? You probably can't even count them, can you? But that's the point of this project. It's to push past that internal critic that is constantly telling us how we are both not enough and yet also too much. It's to begin creating, to begin to build those skill sets and to be okay with failing, because failure does not equal worthlessness. Failure is morally neutral. It doesn't make us a bad person. It doesn't diminish our worth. It just is. But that's hard to believe because for our whole lives, society has told us that our accomplishments and failures define us, when that just isn't the case. So last night, while I was slowly losing my mind from just the idea of failing, I took a breath and I laughed. I laughed because this is the point of the project. While no, I'm not creating bad art just to create bad art, I am going to be okay with creating bad art. I'm giving this my best shot, but sometimes that falls short of your expectations, and you have to be okay with that. You have to create in order to grow your skill sets, and you have to learn to love creation for itself again. I've forgotten how to create, how to just be human and make stuff. And that kind of breaks my heart because part of feeling human for me is that ability to just make stuff. I feel like this month is going to stretch and grow me in ways I hadn't thought of before. I feel like old wounds are going to be brought to the surface and it's going to be a healing experience. I'm a deeply religious person and I feel like there are parts of our soul that can only be reached by creativity and art, that there are emotions that can only be expressed through those mediums. God is a creative God, and since we're made in His image, it stands to reason that we're creative beings. It's central to who we are, and I'm honestly so excited to gain that part of my soul back. I just really wanted to share that with y'all and give you a little insight into what's going on in my brain. I'm getting so excited for this project, and I really can't wait to see who I'm going to be on the other side. So it's Monday, October 26th. So it's the last week of Preptober, which I'm excited about. I'm about to go in and pick up some fabric for the first project I have planned for November. It doesn't have anything to do with my nano project like the other 2 projects I have planned. 3 projects I have planned due. I don't think I'll get them all done in November. But those all pertain to my project. They're all 18th century, which is part of my novel is based in the 18th century. There's a few other things I want to talk about, but I don't feel like doing it right now because I'm really hungry and I just want to get the fabric and go home because I'm hungry and I just want to eat food. And I also really need to use the bathroom. And I doubt that anywhere in Sacramento has any restrooms open because of COVID. So, yeah, I just want to check in really quick before I head in. So I went to the fabric store. This is a great angle. So I went to the fabric store and they kind of fibbed online. I don't think they had anything that wasn't either chiffon, spandex, polyester. That was their entire selection. Oh, and stretch velvet. They also had polyester stretch velvet. So I'm looking for a wool to make a hat, and I think I'm just gonna have to order it because I'm in the beast of a car. I'm in my husband's Firebird. If you can't tell by all of the noise, if you can even hear me. So I don't feel like driving around the city in it because that sounds like hell. And parking it is a beast because it's got like the turning radius. If I'm being honest, the turning radius on it is probably worse than my old dually. And that's saying something because that thing couldn't turn at all. But it's not a loss. I'm heading to my favorite tea shop right now. It's about 45 minutes from where we live, and it's a little out of the way because I should have gone 50 instead of going 16. But it's just a little drawn, and I'm really excited because it's my favorite tea shop, and I don't get to go there very often because it's a pretty decent drive away. So, yeah.
Sticker, so I didn't actually have to replace my window with a frosted. It's a privacy screen sticker. Yeah, and it's fantastic because it disperses the light much like any sort of like softbox. And I've noticed, like, I kind of forgot that is even making such a big difference because I opened my window, it's been hot lately.
After spending a few hours researching 18th century shifts and stays, I went home and made homemade pasta for the very first time. I haven't sat down and made something in quite a while, and it was cathartic to sit down and make something with my hands. I didn't just open a box to make dinner, not that I don't do that sometimes, but it was an experience. By sitting there and making my dough, I grounded myself. I created a connection with where I was in time and space, and I was simply in the moment. I don't talk about it much outside of my inner circle, but I struggle with a pretty serious case of disassociation. I have a hard time connecting with the world around me, and most of the time, it feels like the outside world is a dream. Or like there's a layer of saran wrap between me and the world around. When it's really intense, I lay down in my husband's arms and just cry because it feels like my body isn't my own and no one around me is real. They're like people from books. I know a lot about them, but I don't actually feel like I know them. But cooking and creating, they help me throw down roots. They help anchor me to the world around me and create a connection to where I am in time and space. I guess that's why creation is so important to me, because it's what brings me back when it feels like I'm floating away, never to be recovered. That act of creation, of feeling dough squish between my fingers and paint smear across a canvas. It's here, it's now, and it's real. I can feel it and see it, and it requires me to stop and engage with the physicality of the world. Maybe that's the real reason for this project and challenge. Maybe subconsciously I'm grasping at straws while I drown, and this is a lifeline to pull me back out. Maybe this is what I need, what I've been missing. Creation is such an integral part of me, and by making space for it again, I'm clawing my way back to the surface. I'm pulling myself down out of the vast expanse of the sky. Maybe, just maybe, this is the beginning of healing.
It's 5:30. He's dispatched tomorrow morning. He would have to be rolling out of his yard at like 3:30, which, piss off.
Yeah.
And so we got to the